Let me share with you about prayer for transformation. On this particular day, I was not praying a prayer for transformation. I wanted answers. I had a decision to make. I had a deadline, and I wanted God's guidance in my life. Now, that's a good thing, isn't it? To ask God, what do you want me to do? I don't know if I expected a brick from heaven with a note attached to tell me what I should do, but it didn't arrive. I kept praying, and as the deadline came closer, I prayed more and more earnestly and fervently. Eventually, the day before I knew that I had to give an answer, I went to my room and I stayed there. I said, I'm not coming out until God gives me an answer. I prayed. I read promises from the Bible, things like ask and you will receive. Well, I'd been asking, but I didn't feel like I'd been receiving anything. And so I kept praying and kept reading Bible promises. Eventually, after 2 or 2.5 hours, I thought, nothing is happening here. I need to do something different. What can I do to get God to give me his answer? I'd been asking and asking. A thought came to my mind to read the Psalms, and I knew there were quite a few of them, so I started with Psalm 1. For the first time in my life, I read the first 23 Psalms in one sitting. And it was just like as if a light had come on. God had given me his answer. Not in the way I wanted. I came to realise God's timing is different to my timing. But as I had read the Psalms, I'd noticed a pattern in many of the Psalms, not in all of them, but many of the Psalms I found David telling God what was going on in his life, explaining to him about his enemies, the people who were trying to kill him, telling God about his fears, his anger, his sorrows, his joy, whatever it may have been. Then at the end of the psalm, I find a different David, a transformed David. What's happened? The enemies are still there. Things are still going on in his life. The circumstances have not changed, but David has changed. How did that happen? Because David had focused his mind on God. Have a look at the Psalms. You'll see that pattern in many of them. He tells God about his trouble, tells him what's going on in his life, then he focuses his mind on God, and then somehow David's different. It's like that song, turn your eyes upon Jesus, look full in his wonderful face, and the things of earth will grow strangely dim in the light of his glory and grace. I had my answer. I had transformation because now God had changed my way of thinking. There was a mind shift. Something that had changed everything for me. I didn't have the answer in the way I wanted it, but I had God's answer and his transformation. Why don't you try it? Just tell God what's going on in your life, focus your mind on him, and turn your life over to him. You'll receive his blessing, I'm sure. God bless you.